In the world of professional wrestling, where headlines are often as dramatic as the matches, a new controversy has emerged, stirring the wrestling community. Today, we delve into the allegations made by former WWE star Ryback regarding a secret affair allegedly between Triple H and former WWE women's wrestler Kaitlyn. Ryback, known for his candidness post-WWE, recently shook the wrestling community with claims on his podcast, The Ryback Show. He alleged that Triple H, WWE's COO, may have had an affair with Kaitlyn, the former Divas champion, around the time she left WWE.
Yes, him and Hunter. This is where Hunter was involved on that. Hunter won it because it's the abuse of power. And then he took my fucking month with Stephanie. Fuck you, pussy, Paul. You're going to get everything coming to you, you fucking coward. Let's go ahead and talk about that, you piece of shit. Him and Kaitlyn with everything, right? With all of this. I've talked about this. There is a story there. There's probably an NDA there. Kaitlyn's responsibility to fucking tell that story, not mine. But I have it on close accord from people that came and told me with things that were directly involved with her, that something went down between her and Hunter. And I'm not going to use your fucking brains though, people, with everything. And then she leaves the company almost immediately after. Do you think that's a fucking coincidence? Hey, maybe she did have something go on with all of it. But I would love to find out if there's a fucking NDA with that and an abuse, not because, hey, people cheat on their spouses. I'm not, whatever people fucking do in their lives is their business, right? With that. But if you're having a fucking company and you're abusing power and NDAs are involved and you're fucking affecting people's livelihoods and careers, fuck you with this. Look into the NDAs. Look into the NDAs of the entire organization. They try to get talent that just leave for no reason to sign NDAs with it. And I know that from one of my friends that was there, that they tried to get him to sign an NDA at one point when he was just leaving. His contract expired. Why the fuck are you trying to control people with NDAs that are just fucking, they're hurt, they want to leave and take a break? Fuck you. This is wearing me, and given they wanted everything. Yeah, like fucking candy. And people, I've taken so much fucking bullshit and people thinking I'm making up lies on all this. Fuck you guys. Fuck each and every one of you that doubted me on this. I'm right. And I'm going to continue to be right because I was fucking there. And you little fucking neckbeard marks sitting at home reading your fucking little dirt sheet to come into your fucking conclusions that you got the whole goddamn thing figured out. You're going to be wrong fucking time and time and time again. And that's all there is to it.
Ryback's statements, while bold, weren't backed by concrete evidence, suggesting that an NDA might be stifling any confirmation or further discussion. He emphasized people cheat on their spouses, but if you have a company and you're abusing power and NDAs are involved, that's a different story. Following these allegations, social media platforms, especially X, have buzzed with reactions. Some fans and commentators speculate on the impact of such personal matters on WWE's corporate culture, questioning the ethics behind NDAs in these scenarios. As the story unfolded, questions arose not just about the affair, but about what the implications are for Triple H's role in WWE and the broader culture within the organization. Ryback's history with WWE, marred by legal battles over his name, adds layers to his credibility and motive behind these claims. Meanwhile, Kaitlyn's post-WWE career has been marked by her focus on personal projects and wellness, rarely engaging with the wrestling drama. Her silence on the matter has only fueled the speculation, though. From a legal standpoint, NDAs are common in high-profile industries, but they often stir public debate about transparency versus privacy. Ryback's challenge to these norms reflects broader societal shifts towards accountability, especially in corporate settings. The wrestling world watches, waiting for any official response or further developments. Whether these allegations will lead to more transparency within WWE or remain a mere rumor, only time will tell. What's clear is that Ryback's claims have ignited a discussion on power, ethics, and personal accountability in the wrestling industry. Now that I've presented you with what is out there, what I know, what everybody knows basically, it's time to sit down and have a frank and honest conversation about this from the standpoint of, on one hand, you've got Ryback, who is obviously very bitter against WWE for the way he was handled, the way he was treated, the way his career trajectory went during and post-career. Not saying he's not doing well for himself now, but given his affinity for the business, he wanted to do more in the ring and with WWE when he was there. That wasn't in the cards, be it backstage politicking or what, but Ryback has made no bones about the fact that he is absolutely bitter about the way, he was let go. So that personal bias could be playing into his motivations on why he's choosing to speak on this now. And he's made no bones about the fact that he doesn't really care for Triple H either. And, you're compounding this coming out now on the heels of today, the release of, McMahon's documentary on Netflix, which we watched the first episode of, Draven and I, this morning for channel members. And I liked it. I liked the way it was handled so far. I'll be talking about that tomorrow night over on the World Class Bullshitters show. But no, I look at this like you've got to... I showed the scales of justice. And on one hand, you've got Triple H. Triple H is he's married to Vince's daughter. Triple H has always been an office guy, a clubhouse boy, if you will, daddy. So... But on the other hand, Triple H also used to run with the Clique back in the day. He didn't get with Stephanie McMahon while he was single. He was with China. So Triple H's closet isn't clean of skeletons, I'm sure, as are the vast majority of people in the wrestling business. If you're in the wrestling business for any length of time and you keep your hands clean, Godspeed, you're a fucking doing things right. And like I said, I know I spent 10 years on the indies, and I've seen some things. So you have to really weigh all these factors into consideration before you just go, oh yeah, of course Triple H is fuck, blah, 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 blah. Or Ryback's just full of shit, blah, blah, blah. You got to look at both sides. That's the problem with knee-jerk reactions, because normally you look at anything Ryback says and you immediately roll your eyes and you're like, whatever, guy's just spouting off on Twitter with one of his various polls, or where should Ryback come back to? Everybody says retire, and he's done it 3 or 4 times. So, this guy is obviously doesn't deal well with rejection, probably because in his real life he didn't really face that much of it until his career kind of was stunted after his WWE run. So there's, like I said, in Kaitlyn, I was actually a fan of hers when she came on, obviously for her aesthetics. But then it became, she's kind of, I just didn't mind her. She seemed like kind of a cool, kind of a sweetheart, So it was like, you dig her. And, you like seeing her in the ring. Not the best, but let's face it. The top tier, women's wrestlers, it takes a lot for the women to succeed. And Kaitlyn, she was a champion. Obviously, they felt enough to put the belt on her, which, again, might raise, well, why was the title put on her then, So there's a lot of things and factors that can play into this, and I'm not taking up for Triple H either, because I really feel like he's done some just skeevy things, and it's not just that I feel that he has, it's especially, like I said, the number one is his treatment of China, Joni Lauer, when he left her for Stephanie McMahon. So who knows? If there's an NDA, obviously, she doesn't want to violate that, but why would she have to sign an NDA upon leave? Just leave. They say all these wrestlers are made to sign NDAs before they leave, and it's like, why would anybody under normal circumstances have to sign an NDA if you're just leaving a company as a wrestler? So that it just raises more questions than it gives us answers here. I mean, let's face it, we all want the questions answered, but the real question is, do we need this question answered? Would it be beneficial to anybody to know if Triple H, had an infidelity on Stephanie McMahon Helmsley? It's not going to benefit anybody. They have kids, and that's not excusing it either. Not at all. Not in the least bit. Is it an abuse of power to make her sign an NDA to cover up infidelity? Yeah, it kind of seems that way to any rational thinking human being. But, you know, who am I, right? Who am I? Ladies and gentlemen, you let me know what you think of this situation. Is Ryback just spouting off because he's a bitter ex-employee, or is there any validity to his claims? Is Kaitlyn's silence just a way of staying away from wrestling drama when she's obviously gotten out from under the umbrella of the wrestling community? She's been doing her own thing away from wrestling. Or is she just not saying anything because of the NWA? Or is she just not saying anything because of the NDA? Jesus.
2 hours later.
Or is she just not saying anything because of the NDA, folks? Let me know in the comments. Thank you so much for watching. And you guys know what to do. Subscribe, all that fun stuff. I'm Etep from Wrestling with Horror. I will be back later tonight, 8:05 Eastern, for Martial Law with Cynthia Rothrock. Until then, remember, it's always better to burn out than fade away.